Real quick, please don't send any hate to anyone I mentioned in this video. If you do, you are not seeing the gates of heaven. The application I use to show my scripts or my notes isn't working right now, so we're just going raw dog, baby. I don't give a shit. This is Brad, creator of Self-Named Taste in Music. He's a music reviewer and commentary person on YouTube who does streams and makes video reactions to different albums, and I enjoy his shit. I've watched a lot of his videos, I tune into a lot of his streams, I've even donated to his paid song request shits. He's a generally funny and well-meaning guy that I think deserves all the success he's had up until this point. But I can't say that without the caveat that this dude does not know how to handle a controversy to save his fucking life. Real quick, because I feel I need to clarify it every single time I make a video in this kind of series, this is not a drama channel. I'm not interested in bullying people and hyper-analyzing their missteps. If you think that's the point of this parasociality series, that's thoroughly not it. The entire point of this series, this video included, is to just try and analyze the inner workings and power dynamics of the relationship between like the people who are like performing shit in front of a camera and the people who are watching it and the people who are fans of it. And I want to encourage other people to do the same. What's different though is that instead of hyper-analyzing that from the performer's perspective with the last two videos, we're going to be talking about it from a fan perspective. We're going to be talking about how I fucked up. I mentioned a minute ago that Brad is very bad at pretty much anything in terms of confrontation. There's been little snippets here and there of him just getting involved in shit that could have been resolved really easily if he had just kind of wrote it out instead of doing whatever the fuck he did. But things really came to a head in about early July. Brad Taste in Music promoted a channel called Rose Millet onto his channel. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I don't really give a shit. She's made a bunch of different videos, such as this one where she talks about the worst samples of music, and that's all she does. That's absolutely all she has ever done. She has never said anything bad at all. That has not happened. No. So after Brad posted this, a bunch of stuff came out about the shit that she used to say. It was a lot of very unsavory shit that stretched back quite a far distance, but allegedly has gone on to like this year. And a lot of people took this promotion of her stuff as a little bit of a slap in the face because people consider Brad to be somewhat of an ally. And now with the promotion of this person who is espousing shit like this, they started to question it. Now, obviously, people did what people do, and they just went to go and lambast Brad for promoting someone so hateful as her. And in response, I'm gonna have you guess what he did, actually. A, deleted the post and apologized. B, just didn't mention it and just kept going on as normal till it died down. Or C, throw a hissy fit and get mad at everybody for having an issue with it. And the answer? Like, all three. He got very angry at a bunch of people in his audience. Then he just tried to stream as normal, ignoring the fact that his chat was being completely fucking brigaded. And then when that didn't work, that's when he apologized and deleted the posts. Totally flawless system. Can't make a decision? Just do all of them. Fuck it. So after that, he said on stream that he was going to take a break. And the break lasted for about a month. Except for it technically didn't, because he went on the H3 podcast 2 days later. There was a whole B-plot going on in here, motherfucker. Are you ready to hear about the B-plot? It finally happened. I fucked up one of the photos. About a month before this, Brad went on to the H3 podcast. And he took a picture with the co-host Ethan and Gila, who had previously been in hot water for having some what could be argued Zionist sentiments. I don't think they actually are Zionists or have any ill will towards anyone in Palestine, but the point is, a lot of people on the internet think they do. So when a photo of Brad dropped with the people from H3, and it was shown to the people who were in his audience that were very, very progressive, because that's how he appeared to be up until this point, people were pissed. Me personally, I don't see a problem with it. Like, Ethan and Gila, to my knowledge, have condemned what Israel is doing to Palestine, so I don't really see much of an issue with it. But apparently a lot of people in Brad's audience did. Brad said he was sorry, and then he got into an online fight with Ethan and whatever, and then nothing happened for a little bit. Until off the heels of this entire Rose Millet controversy, when after he said he was going to take a break from the internet, went on the H3 podcast the next day and made up with them. And here's the thing. Everything up until this point, I can reason with, right? I don't think him going on the H3 podcast makes him an evil person. And I don't think promoting someone who's had a previously edgy past that they're trying to move away from is a bad thing necessarily. But the bad part is yet to come. So Brad logs off for about a month, and then he comes back, and everyone is happy. But there remained one person who was unhappy with the current Brad situation, and that was who he calls his best friend. I'm not gonna spend too long on this. At this point, I feel like they both just want to move the fuck past it. But TLDR, shortly after coming back and doing a stream, Brad's friend and also person who helps him edit shit came out and said, hey, Brad did a chargeback and now my PayPal's in the red and I'm scared and I'm in debt, please help. Obviously, this got a lot of people pissed and saying that Brad was a fraud trying to steal money from the people that he works with. And now we're gonna do another guess, okay? We're gonna do another guessing game. Do you think he did A, immediately paid the money back and issued an apology? B, ignored it, tried to stream as normal and do whatever. C, took another break from the internet and just went silent. All right, take whatever answer you picked and then throw it in the fucking garbage, because it's actually D. Have a complete fucking meltdown. I didn't check his YouTube channel in a day and I came back to hell. There's probably a better timeline of this situation being spouted by a drama channel that I refuse to be, but the TLDR is that the editor makes this announcement. Brad makes a Twitter video crying and freaking out, saying about how this friend betrayed their trust because he didn't get back to her as soon as he should have, and then he proceeds to delete all of his socials completely, including Twitter, which based. He also deletes a YouTube video he had just uploaded that actually has this editor in it, because I guess he's just that angry. And then he makes a video clickbaiting a reaction to a recently released popular album to say that A, he's not going to be interacting with his stream chat anymore at all, and B, he needs $10,000 from his audience because he's in debt. I don't know if he's actually in debt, but he did say that it was because of moving and a bunch of other expenses that he needs $10K for the month. So I have opinions. First of all, not interacting with your chat. I can understand this to a certain extent. If you do streaming as a job, you have hundreds, potentially thousands of eyes on you in real time at any given moment, and they all have different ideas for how the stream should go, or different ways that they want to just interact and like fuck with you. And that can get overwhelming. That can be a lot for people. But saying you're not going to interact with the chat at all, what the fuck is the point of stream? I don't know about you, but when I stream on Twitch, like 3/4 of the reason I even do that in the first place is to interact with people. If I didn't want to interact with people, I would just play by myself. 90% of the reason that I would even want to watch a stream is because of the chat interaction. So like people can, like, you know, send funny messages or use channel points to play sound effects or a bunch of random stuff, right? And taking that away from people, what the fuck is the point then? At that point, you may as well just stick strictly to videos. Like, it's not gonna fucking matter. And then asking for the 10K. I don't want to be too mean. He lives in America, so maybe he took one ambulance ride in the US that cost $1 million. I just cannot fathom saying that you need money from the people who you're no longer going to be interacting with. Where does that make sense? This entire thing is a fucking clown fiesta, a fucking clown Ford fiesta. And so that's where we're at now. That was all a few days ago. He has since done a couple more streams, not reaction streams, but streams of himself DJing, which is a switch up, but you do you, king. So why am I doing this? Why am I giving so much context to a person that you probably have no idea who it is? Because the entire time he was doing all this stuff, I was significantly more invested than I should have been. The whole time this was happening, I was just watching it like a fucking train wreck in slow motion. Oh yeah, I forgot my hand. Do this when I touches the head. Haha. Isn't that funny? I gotta stop. I'm gonna keep doing that all day. When I first found this dude, I thought he had a fantastic energy. I thought he was humorous when he needed to be, but also was serious enough when he needed to be. He was a very strong LGBT ally person who even had a stream raising money for his friend's top surgery. So obviously seeing that, me and I'm assuming hundreds of other people that tune into his streams every day, thought that he was a super kind, super caring person who really wants to interact with the community and wants to be friends with everybody. And that's exactly where the problem lies. In a now deleted community post, fuck, I'm doing it again. In a since deleted community post, he made the mistake of calling his community his friends. And I subconsciously leaned into that a bit. For context, I found him off the heels of losing one of who I would say was my best friends at the time. And I feel like in a way he kind of filled that void. He was like a nicer version of this person I used to have in my life. So consequently, sometimes tuning into his streams would feel like hanging out with a friend, even though there was a little voice in the back of my head that was reminding me, hey, this person does not know you, they don't care about you, even if they say they do, there's really no way for there to ever be a more than one-way connection. And I mostly ignored it. I just kind of fell for it. I kept typing in the chat, hoping that he would see it and hoping that he would reply to me, and he did a few times. So seeing all this stuff happen and seeing such a spectacular and violent fall from grace of this person who I considered a friend, even though it was completely one-sided, and this motherfucker probably forgot who I was like 10 seconds after I sent a chat message each time. Back when everything was starting to happen, and even now, people are just saying that, oh, he needs to go to therapy, or he needs to spend even more time offline, and he needs to do this and that and this and that. And I try not to engage with any of that, because I don't know what's best for him. If I was his friend, I would know more about his life and the circumstances that got him to the point where he is today. And until I know that, I can't tell him what his next steps should be. All I know is the little sliver of interaction that I have with him on days that he chooses to stream outside of his personal life, and that's it. The only person that knows what's best for him is him, and the people around him, the people in his life. And even if they don't know what's best for him, they have the most likely shot of getting it, considering they're with him through and through in a bunch of different situations that aren't broadcasted online. Do you really think you would know more than them? And that's the thing that I lost sight of as an audience member. He has to get his shit worked out, and I can't help him with that. And that's just simply what it is. If it was someone who was an actual friend of mine, someone who I have close contact with on a two-way street, then obviously I would. but I can't do it with him because we're not friends. Obviously, the flip side to that is, even if you're not friends with a creator, even if you just watch them in passing, you really like their stuff, that is still a connection. It may be a one-sided connection, but still a connection nonetheless. And watching someone seemingly degrade in front of you as a person who you've seen be fine before is not fun. But I don't know, I want to get in front of a camera and yell about this. Not a lot of my other friends know who Brad Tastes in Music even is, so I'm instead making it all of your problems. What's the moral of this video? I don't know, I've tried to say a few different lines and none of them feel quite right. It's okay to get emotionally invested in the creators that you like. Obviously, it'd be weird if you didn't. It probably wouldn't be as fun to watch. But at the end of the day, you have to be mindful of yourself. You have to be mindful of how far deep you're falling into the hole of emotion and connection that you have on a one-sided level, because eventually you're gonna have to climb back up, and that shit can be hard depending on how far you go. And that's a hole I'm crawling out of right now, but I think it'll be fine, and I think you'll be fine, and I think we'll all be fine, and everything's fine, and everything's great. All right, time for me to shut the fuck up and list the people who give me money. Shout out to the patrons: Gordon, Hakaimono, Foxy Boy, Kylecray95, Alleycat VR, Jargy Roo, Theo Firefox, Serialsaurus, Mato Kalos, Beast King Barbaros, Uber Bounty, Joel, Aki, SF Serval, and Squall, as well as the Ko-Fi donors of 2024: Appledews Dragon, Beast Sugar, Bro, Dribby, Theo Firefox, Levy, Enjoy.tj, and Welcome the Wolf. And also Kakaro. I'm going them off of memory. And also Gordon, my memory's shit. I still gotta fix my shit that shows me my screen. I'm scared, please help, I need an adult. I think that's it. I don't know what else to add. Oh, it's my birthday today. Did I mention that?